and I've compiled all of the very best tips, tricks, and combat secrets that'll help you dominate on the battlefield. And I'm making this video under the assumption that you already know all the basics about combat in this game, so that way we can jump right into the real juicy tips and tricks. Tip number 1. Before you begin playing, trade in your tiny little baby sketchers for big ol' skull stomping military boots. Let's fucking destroy some fucking Tyranids. A very cool lore mechanic is integrated into the combat when fighting Tyranids. So I'm sure you've heard them be described as hive mind type creatures. Well, this mechanic comes into play during the combat. If you eliminate a larger elite enemy leading a group of scrubs, it can scramble the brains of the smaller fodder enemies within that group, straight killing them off or making them go haywire.
Synaptic servant slaughtered.
Pay attention to these warnings. They can tell you exactly what level of threat is in your vicinity. And trust me dude, this can save the lives of you and your brothers. This drastically helps. Now if you only see Minoris, that means there's only little mini scrubber dubbers around. No problem. Minoris and Majoris means there's little scrubbers and some elite enemies. Majoris is referring to standard elites. Then Extremis or Extremis means a side boss level enemy is near. Whether it's a Lictor or a floating Jimmy Neutron head, a serious enemy is near and you must be wary. Now it can also tell you what level of horde is coming your way. But if you see massive wave incoming, then buckle your fucking bootstraps boy, get ready for impact. Because a giant threat is coming your way and you must be prepared for it. Constantly stay vigilant and keep an eye on this. This will allow you to never be caught by surprise. Well, for the most part. You can find several equipment pieces hiding around the maps in operations mode, but armory data is by far the most important. These are also the most easy to find, as they are always in fixed positions. There's only a handful of locations these armory datas will spawn, so whenever you find one, remember it. Take note of that location, so next time you run through that mission, you can check the same area. Eventually, you'll know exactly where all of them can be at. If I told you, hey, I recommend you dodge away from the danger, you dodge roll away, you'd probably think, bruh, that's pretty damn fucking obvious. Nah man, listen. A real life pro gamer showed me just how overpowered the roly-poly strategy truly is. See, if you're the last one standing, you gotta clutch up and stay alive until your teammates can respawn. Just freaking roly-poly dodge around. And if you're schmoove with it, you will not get hit. You have the ability to evade entire swarms of enemies for minutes on end by simply spamming the dodge roll. I'm not joking. I know it's not very Chad-like, but it sure is effective. Now, one reason it's so effective at keeping you safe is the fact that you roll faster than you run. Spam rolling will move you forwards a further distance more quickly compared to straight running. Try it out, man. Try it with your friends. Go ahead and race each other, and you will see that spam rolling will win the race. Fast charge attacks are very effective, specifically for the Thunder Hammer and the Power Fist. So with the Thunder Hammer, to begin your attack, you hold R1 for not even a full second. It's very quick. Once you bring your hammer backwards, unleash your Unga Boonga power for a devastating 1-2 combo. This can deal large AoE damage and even knock around smaller enemies, offering you a kill shot on them. If executed correctly, this can be much more effective than simply swinging around light attacks, considering how quick you can pop it off. In order to truly excel with the Thunder Hammer, you must become experienced at performing these types of combos. Now with the Power Fist, it's the same idea. You want to hold the charged attack right until the moment you see it begin its lightning charge effect. That's when you can unload your punch. Send a powerful wave forwards. So unlike the Thunder Hammer that has very wide swings, the Power Fist sends forth an AoE attack directly in front of you. It can reach further forwards rather than wider on the sides. The Quagmire arm plus One Punch Man equals the Space Marine Power Fist. One of the best ways to recover armor is to perform a dodge into a melee strike, then immediately kill shot after you swing. Almost every time you do one of these melee attacks out of roll, it will allow you to perform a kill shot on these smaller scrubs. So dodge, then strike, and then kill shot. That's it, and this works with almost all the melee weapons. With the Power Sword in its enhanced lightning form, you don't even need to dodge. Simply one wide swinging strike should allow you to perform a kill shot on these smaller scrubs. You must shoot these venomous barbed wires. If left alone, it'll fill up this poison meter, and once this toxic gets you stoned, it'll slow your movements and ruin your day, like nasty garlic breath on a Sunday morning. However, all you need to do is shoot one bullet right in the middle at its core, and it will eliminate it. Now, here's a combat tip for the Chainsword. I found the strike then kick. Strike then kick can sometimes stagger lock elite enemies for a little bit and be effective at pushing enemies over the edge to make an execution available. Like if they are already somewhat damaged and you're trying to activate an execution, just perform this strike kick combo a couple times. While the stomp is of course an AoE slam best for taking out the groups of smaller scrubs, the kick is best for staggering individual targets. Ranged enemies take the crown for the biggest pain in the ass award in this game. Always make sure to take out the ranged enemies first, or at least quickly as possible. They will wear down your armor swiftly. The heavy bolt pistol and plasma pistol both have solid range. Even better range than more than half the primary weapons. So if you have a close combat primary with low range, then you can use your plasma or heavy bolt pistol instead for shooting longer distance, because you or a teammate definitely needs to prioritize those ranged enemies. I truly believe the heavy bolt is superior to the regular bolt if you can land your headshots. Players with a nice, accurate aim will excel with this heavy bolt. Now listen man, if you don't yet have Space Marine 2, now is your chance to grab it at a discount. I have a link in the description for instant gaming where you can buy video games much cheaper than anywhere else. The entire community needs to know about these discount prices, man. Like look, on Steam, the Cyberpunk Ultimate Edition is over $80, but on instant gaming, it is only half that price. You can pre-order Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, Lies of P, Ghost of Tsushima, Monster Hunter, all that. And all at a price lower than anywhere else you'll find. Also, my custom link below will allow you to enter a special giveaway. Simply create an account with them and you'll be in the running for a chance to win a prize of your choice. I have my own custom links below for you to go check it out and see for yourself. Now here are some quick tips about the values and stats of weapons. Number 1, this plus symbol basically means half a point. So 4 plus is 4.5, 8 plus is 8.5. Secondly, venting speed for plasma weapons. It states time required to cool down the weapon. However, there is more information you need to know. Venting speed also determines how many shots you can fire before the weapon fully overheats, or the rate of how quickly shooting accumulates heat in the weapon. Also, you can effectively reload plasma weapons. Instead of simply waiting for the overheating red line indicator to drop back down, you can press the reload button and it'll instantly cool off. Next, Cleaving Potential. So a very simple description of this is that this determines the size of your weapon's hitbox when striking. So a high cleaving potential with the Chainsword or Thunderhammer will allow you to perform wide swings, which will connect with multiple enemies in a large area. So for combat purposes, you can think that a lower, more narrow cleaving potential would be better for individual targets, like using a knife to attack a single enemy, while a higher, much wider cleaving potential is great for crowd control, like using the Thunderhammer for wide swings taking out entire groups of scrubs. Now you'd probably think this is the main factor in determining the specialization, whether it's more effective against single or groups, dueling or crowd control. However, the specialization never changes, regardless of how you rearrange your stats. Now, one reason for that is the specialization also takes into account whether the weapon inflicts direct damage or AoE. So like the combat knife is direct damage. The knife has no AoE blast, while the Thunder Hammer does indeed have large AoE attacks. So the specialization is more a generalized description of the weapon's ability. For example, with the Power Sword, it claims it's right in the middle, being very balanced. However, that's not entirely true. The Power Sword has two forms, with each form being very unbalanced actually. You have the normal form, which is extremely effective at single targets. It's very similar to the combat knife, while its enhanced lightning form is drastically better against groups of scrubs. Wide swings for crowd control. You can think of it like being a little Thunder Hammer. So the game showcases its specialization being balanced because it can indeed excel at both forms. Another tip for the Power Sword is that you can switch forms mid-combat. You can do a charged attack out of a dodge, and this will switch the forms. So in lightning form, you dodge and perform a charged attack, so you hold down the R1 button, and this will thrust forwards, switching back to the normal style. And then you can do the same while in the normal form, and it will swap to a wide swing lightning style. As I'm sure you've noticed, you essentially have 3 lives. You get downed once, you can get back up, then get downed a second time, you receive a mortal wound, which means if you're incapacitated a third time, that's it, you're dead. 3 strikes and you're out, my guy. However, you can obtain the Guardian Relic. Now, what you might not have realized is that this heals you of your mortal wound if you use it to revive yourself at the time that you get mortally wounded. And with that mortal wound healed, you've technically been given a 4th life. Or if you are already mortally wounded, when you get downed for that 3rd time, when you should die, if you have a Guardian Relic on you, it will immediately pick you back up. So it is wise to hold off. If your teammates can pick you up, definitely have them do that rather than immediately using the Guardian Relic on your first time being downed. Now, a more general combat tip. Keep in mind, the main way of staying alive in this game isn't primarily about dodging or evading damage. I mean, you're going to eat damage and tank hits. Like nobody doing a no hit, no damage run with this game. It just ain't happening. You will be damaged constantly. Nah, the trick is simply to refill your armor and health, becoming adept at continuously parrying, kill shots, executions, or whatever special perks your class may have. Refilling your armor as quickly as possible, preferably faster than you take damage. That is the key to staying alive and healthy. Now, of course, you want to evade damage the best you can, but the main goal in combat is to constantly replenish yourself. Now, I showed you before, a good trick to regain armor is to perform a quick melee attack out of dodge, staggering smaller enemies for a kill shot. However, you should know, you are not invincible while performing a kill shot like this. While executing an enemy or parrying, you are invulnerable to all damage, but not when performing a kill shot. So sometimes, if you are surrounded, even simultaneously performing kill shots may not be enough to keep your armor topped off, because of just how much damage you are also taking at the same time. Puny Humans are no match for your giant enhanced feat. Steamroll over them with ease by simply running or rolling. The game has told you to parry the blue light indicators and dodge for the red lights. Okay, right? Yeah, okay, very nice. However, you can still parry other attacks, even without the blue light. Actually, most attacks, especially from the larger enemies, can be parried. Sometimes you must parry 2 attacks in a row, but yes, it can be done. And if you have a fencing type melee weapon, god damn man, you'll be parrying everything. Here's a solid combat tip for the knife. So, from sprinting or out of a dodge roll, you lunge forward with a light attack and perform a 1-2 thrusting stab. However, if you want to continue this combo, maybe against an elite enemy, one of the strongest, most fluid techniques I have found is to perform a second light attack right after the lunge, then dive into the charged heavy attacks. So you do the thrusting light attack out of a dodge, follow that up with a second light attack, then perform a charged heavy. This will begin your heavy combo chain, and you can simply continue pressing the attack button to continue a heavy chain combo. This heavy attack chain is very effective, able to somewhat stagger lock your target while dealing decent damage. So did I miss any tips or tricks? Please comment below any tips of your own or what your opinion is of this game so far. Let us know in the comment section and subscribe to my channel here for more gaming content like this. I thank you very much for your time and I'll talk to you later. Stay golden.